ESPN's Michelle Beadle with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team, host of ESPN2 Sports Nation. Also very active on Twitter, Michelle, at Michelle D. Beadle. Couldn't help but notice the comments coming from the GOP last night, huh?
That was, and by the way, this is the one thing I'd like to always clarify. I will never really get into my specific politics, although I'm not really afraid to talk about it. I just don't want to do it with strangers. Sometimes it's a waste of time. But I always laugh that no matter what you tweet, people think they figured you out. I thought last night was comedy gold, regardless of where you stand. You can't script Donald Trump. That's amazing television.
We would have an entertaining president if that ever happened.
Oh. I mean, we would be at war in 20 minutes, but other than that, it would be just, wow.
Don't worry about that.
After laughter, but just in shock, really. Not even like funny, just shock.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the country would have to file for bankruptcy and then begin a war.
I know. He'd be mad at everyone, and some of those guys are also crazy. So, yeah, it would not end well.
ESPN's Michelle Beadle with Armen and Levack. All right, Michelle, so the serious topic right up front. Ray Rice, you criticized him in the past for what happened. Should he play again in the NFL?
I don't think so, but I'm also not I think second chances are a wonderful, beautiful thing, and sometimes it's okay, I guess. But I don't know where we kind of ended up on this side of things where we thought that playing football and making millions of dollars is a right rather than a privilege. I'm not ever saying that these guys aren't allowed to go out and get jobs. You can go get a job, but I don't know why we have to give them another chance at such an amazing life. There's so many guys that would love to fill that spot. I think age is going to work against him, obviously, in this particular case. But yeah, it's a weird place we've made for ourselves. Second chances don't always mean amazing chances. They just mean second chances.
Michelle, is there something that he could do that would make you feel like he was worthy of a second chance in the NFL?
No, not really. I mean, for me, that video is, and look, he's going to always feel like it's a bit, quote-unquote, unfair because he's the guy that had the video. Meanwhile, there are other guys playing in the league that have done what may very well have been worse things. There's just not video of it. And unfortunately, that's sort of where we are right now because we haven't figured out how to do this thing. And so, no, the video is a constant for me, and it's just, go get a job at Subway, make sandwiches. There's plenty of things you can do to make a living for your family. I'm just not sure you need to be in the NFL.
ESPN's Michelle Beadle with Armen and Levack. Should Tom Brady be suspended?
God, this thing is ridiculous. But have you guys had those moments yet where you sort of float above this story and just say, what are we talking about right now?
We've ignored it for like 3 days. Yeah, we're like, I don't even know how to talk about his pool guy, I
don't either. That's the funniest part about the email or talking smack about Peyton. At this point you need to be suspended just because it's a black eye on the whole thing. But it's also just stupid and absurd, and we are talking about little bits of air, and if it just had been dealt with and apologized for and accepted and moved on, I feel like this wouldn't be here, but it doesn't look like he's giving up anytime soon, and meanwhile, this thing's becoming a bigger joke each and every day that passes.
All right, so we hit you on 2 hot buttons so far.
Hot take.
New York Giants land here. Jason Pierre-Paul, how do you like his handling of not being able to handle things?
I don't get it. I mean, look, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I know that in my lifetime, I'll never be up for a $40 or $60 million gig. I won't even have the opportunity to turn it down and do something else. And so I'm blown away that these risks were taken. And, I grew up in Texas, and fireworks seem to be just sort of a rite of passage, like you're supposed to do that in your yard. And I was even taught, just stay away from it. Nothing good happens from this. And that's with nothing on the line. So, I don't know how this pans out. I don't know how important. I don't even really know. I don't think any of us do how bad everything is. We know that one got amputated, but from the sounds of things, we don't actually know everything. So it's going to be the most expensive firework day in the history of the world, and it's a bummer.
Yeah. ESPN's Michelle Beadle with Armen and Levack, host of Sports Nation on Twitter, at Michelle D. Beadle. The Buffalo Bills, up here, everyone's excited because Rex Ryan's taking over. I kind of see through it a little bit because it's Rex Ryan taking over. How excited should we be about the Bills?
I know. Here's the thing. I am one of those people that just sort of each and every year I say, oh, not again. Rexy's not going to get me in this thing. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, he's hilarious and charming. And, yep, I'm in. And so I've sort of decided that I'm adopting the Bills as my team just to kind of see how this thing plays out. I will say this for the guy. He may not ever come through on all the promises, and he may be a little overextending himself in certain areas. However, you cannot hate on a dude for having passion for the game, passion for his job, and, if they were giving out prizes for desire and intent, then I think Rex Ryan's at the top of the game. And I hope the quarterback thing. We talked about it on the show yesterday. Marcellus was talking about the Bills specifically. It's like, if you can figure out the quarterback thing, this actually could be something. And, hopefully Rex Ryan doesn't step in it. As former Jets fan, we've seen that happen as well. But I'm in. I'm in for this show. I think it's going to be entertaining, if nothing else.
All right. All that being said, can the Bills and or Jets topple the Patriots this year in the East?
I think God. Well, no, not the Jets. That's not a thing. We're not, no. but I feel like the Bills, I feel like the Bills have a lot more parts. They have defense, they have offense. I'm telling you, quarterback situation. If they figure out if he can do this, I'm in. I'm watching this. But I think the Jets are going to be a dumpster fire once again. By the way, I'm sitting next to a Jets fan right now as I say that, and now he's angry at me.
Yeah, you're doing it on purpose a little bit?
But yeah, it's once again, I know Geno Smith wants to laugh off all the quote-unquote haters, but unfortunately, they're not laughing for no reason. This is going to be hilarious.
Well, as you're home for the New York Jets, we appreciate your take.
Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, you guys, I had to do Nets coverage those years when they won like 6 games. I get it. But you know what? Sometimes it's more fun that way.
Yeah. Michelle Beadle of ESPN with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team. Michelle, I'm born and raised Dallas. You're San Antonio. Levack, how many times a day do I take a shot at the Spurs just because the sun's up?
It leads every segment. It literally leads.
They drive me nuts. Your Twitter handle drives me nuts because Spurs fans are so obnoxious because all you do is win, and it drives me nuts.
I know. I'm sorry. We're awesome. It's not my fault. Sometimes it just happens that way. We are not obnoxious. Of all the fan bases in the world, I would not even think to put Spurs fans on the obnoxious list. Not even top 5.
Aren't you up there by yourself, though, with all the Spurs stuff you're spraying all the time? It just reminds me over and over.
Because in all fairness, Dallas has a lot going on for it. They've got hockey, they've got football, they've got basketball, they've got baseball. San Antonio, we literally only have the Spurs on the professional side. So that is sort of where we focused all of our energy, and that's, I think, for the near future, that's just how it's going to be.
Well, I'm hoping that you guys win big this year because Capital Region native Jimmer Fredette is getting a tryout, and hopefully he'll be a Spur. So.
No, I do too. And look, if the track record says they win one, they lose one. They win one, they lose one. So it looks like this should be a year of winning, and it's weird. Football hasn't even started, but I'm really excited to see what LaMarcus Aldridge does. This is kind of a new chapter for the Spurs, sort of getting like a sexy star in there and trying that out. That's kind of what everybody else usually does. So I'm excited to see how they figured it out.
Yeah, they're scary. They're scary good. And with Pop, our boy Jimmer Fredette, born and raised Albany in the Capital Region, Popovich finds a way to get those role players in the right role, doesn't he?
He does. I don't know what it is, which is the funny part, because to the rest of us, he's a man of very few words. But there is something that happens when those guys are in a gym that Pop figures it out. He makes something out of nothing. He makes guys we've never heard of become guys that we're just all talking about, and it's a gift. Honestly, I know we say that a lot about a lot of things, but I truly think he has a gift of sort of turning, lemons into lemonade. Not that Jimmer Fredette's lemons, but you know what I mean.
Next time he comes on, what's up, lemons? How you doing?
What's up, lemons? It's actually not a bad nickname.
Hey, it's not bad. Maybe we'll try to make that work.
It doesn't suck. What?
It does, yeah. ESPN's Michelle Beadle with Armen in the Levack. Now, Michelle's the host of Sports Nation, and next week for the next 2 weeks on this radio station, 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio, from 10 to 1, you're taking that slot over with Ben Lyons. Now, Michelle, what can we expect from this program?
Ben is a New York guy, diehard, Knicks, everything. He's already warned me that he's going to talk about Carmelo Anthony for at least 2 hours each day, which I'm like, honestly, it's so early in the morning out here, I'm not sure how I'm going to handle that. I've warned him not to do that, but I may just relive the 1999 shortened NBA season when the Spurs beat the Knicks over and over and over again if he continues to do that. So this should be good. I'm sure it'll go really well.
I'm on the border of uncomfortable as a Knicks fan, but really enjoying what that's going to do to Armen. So I don't. I'm kind of I'm in. I'm going to listen.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, look, they may end up giving us only 1 day after the first one rather than the 10, but we're going to do our best. Damn it.
Yes, go get it. Michelle Beadle next week, along with ESPN LA's Ben Lyons, on for the next 2 weeks from 10 to 1 right here on 104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports.
And seriously, if you are not following, it is one of the best files on Twitter at Michelle D. Beadle.
That.
Hey, listen, I was laughing last night because I was tearing apart Trump and this one and that one, and I looked over and I'm like, oh, she's doing it a little better. I'm going to share some of hers, I think.
Oh, no, it was, I couldn't even believe. There were moments when I honestly thought we were all just being duped. Like, this was not real life.
Right.
This was, as much as I want to laugh about it, I guess if you start to really think about what it all is, it becomes a little frightening and sad. But if you just kind of sit back and take it as a television show and not who's going to be the leader of the free world later on, it's actually quite entertaining. It's better than most shows I've watched all summer.
I think the saddest part is that Saturday Night Live is on vacation right now.
I mean, well, I'll be honest with you. No offense to Saturday Night Live, but I don't even think they could have come close to that. Not even close. Not this version.
ESPN's Michelle Beadle. Catch her on this station from 10 to 1 for the next 2 weeks. And Michelle, this is our first chance to talk to you since you've been back with ESPN. We love you. So glad you're here. This is awesome.
Thank you.
Love to have you.
I am so glad to be back. You know, everyone needs to take a little hiatus.
Yeah. There you go.
Come back.
Yeah.
Well, jump back on with us anytime. Thank you so much, and we're looking forward to the next 2 weeks.
Of course. Well, thanks, guys. Of course.